There was an experiment about 150 years ago. Researchers took a pike, a big predator fish, and placed it in a glass tank. At regular intervals, they drop in smaller fish, and predictably, the pike would eat them all. But then they changed the setup. They added a glass divider down the middle of the tank. Now the pike was on one side and the smaller fish on the other. What happened next? The pike did what it always did, lunged at the fish, but this time it smacked into the invisible wall, again and again, until it stopped trying. Eventually, it just drifted to the bottom. Then they removed the barrier, so the fish were swimming together again. And here's the twist. The pike didn't even try. It swam past food and ignored it. It only ate what the researchers fed it. In later experiments, it got worse. Some pike actually starved, surrounded by food. Why? Because it had realized trying doesn't work. That's called learned helplessness. And it's not just a fish thing, it's a human one. A lot of us are living like that pike, moving through life with invisible limits that were real once but aren't anymore. And in this video, I want to show you how to break that pattern, how to stop being driven by your programming and start shaping your path with intention. I'm Chris Bodman, performance psychologist and founder of Elementary Performance. And if there's one foundation that changes everything, it's self-awareness. If I asked you, do you know yourself? What would you say? Do you know what matters to you? What makes you tick? What you avoid? What you chase? Aristotle said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. And Socrates had just two words, know thyself. It's one of the oldest ideas in philosophy, and yet still one of the most misunderstood. Because self-awareness isn't some woo-woo topic. It's steeped in psychology and one of the proven indicators of success. Self-awareness is about developing a level of honesty with yourself that's sometimes uncomfortable, but always useful. It's a willingness to look at yourself clearly without flinching. On a foundational level, self-awareness allows you to step outside your own patterns. It's knowing what makes you different and how to apply it. High performers don't just know what they're good at, they understand how to shape their behavior for the situation. And more importantly, they're aware of their blind spots. Because here's the truth. You probably think performance is about adopting new behaviors, but it's actually about removing self-imposed obstacles. Most limits occur when our own behaviors become the barrier to moving forward. You can't transcend this programming until you see it. You've got to shine a light on the patterns that are holding you down and double down on the ones that move you forward. There's a saying, what got you here won't get you there. And it's a reminder that the habits, thinking and strategies that once served you might be the very things holding you back. Self-aware people don't live on autopilot, they create distance between their thoughts and their actions, and that gives them choice. Viktor Frankl famously said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. But this all sounds very anecdotal. What does the neuroscience say? Let's dive into the evidence. Self-awareness shows up in distinct areas of the brain. The prefrontal cortex, that's where you reflect and plan. The insula, where you feel your body's signals. And the anterior cingulate cortex, the part that helps you monitor conflict and regulate emotion. When these areas are active, you're not just reacting, you're observing, adjusting, and learning. And that's when you're at your best. The best athletes are those who understand their physical limits, training needs, and how to adapt to the context in front of them. The best professionals know their working style and how to leverage their strengths. This deep self-understanding allows for better strategies, emotional regulation, and resilience under pressure. It's almost like having an internal GPS guiding you to your best self. When you're self-aware, the system is alive and scanning. When you're not, it's running on autopilot, missing opportunities, misreading moments, and failing to make the most of what's in front of you. In high-pressure moments, self-awareness is a superpower. It's the ability to watch yourself in real time, like a surgeon mid-operation or a pilot handling a crisis. They're not just doing, they're thinking about their thinking. They might notice if their thoughts are becoming disorganized, if they're making assumptions, or if emotions are clouding their judgment. They course correct in real time and remain focused because they have that level of awareness. This is where style flexibility comes in. When we talk about adapting our personality, A lot of people label it as being fake, but it's not. It's about having the range to show up how the moment needs you. Think of it like this. Imagine walking into a room with 4 doors. Normally, you always pick the blue one. It's your go-to because it feels comfortable. But today, maybe you need to pause, read the room and what the situation needs. This time, you pick the red one. It results in a better outcome and a version of you that's more effective, not less authentic. And this is intentional. And it's self-awareness and emotional intelligence in action. Perceptive taking. That's the next layer. Can you see the situation from multiple angles? Can you challenge your default lens? To excel, you can't rely on one way of thinking. You need to rotate the problem. You need to seek different viewpoints, because that gives you the option of better solutions. We all have behavioural styles, ways we default when under pressure. Some of us lead, some of us analyse, some keep the peace, others energise the group. I frame these into 4 styles: dynamo, analyst, caretaker, and energizer. Each has strengths and each have drawbacks. A dynamo drives hard but can bulldoze. An analyst thinks deeply but can get stuck in perfectionism. A caretaker supports but may avoid conflict, and an energizer lifts energy but can lose focus. None of these are good or bad. They're tendencies, not destinies. Problems start when they go unchecked, especially under stress. That's when your tendency creates blind spots. And here's the thing, in these situations, we don't see ourselves clearly, but others can. That's why feedback matters. It's a mirror that you can't hold up on your own. So how do we start building this? Step 1, use profiling tools. They give you a starting language, but don't stop there. They're insights, not identity. Step 2, journal. Reflect and ask, what was my intention? What was the impact? What emotion did I feel and why? Write it down, you'll see patterns emerge. Step 3, seek feedback. Actively from people who tell you the truth, not to knock you down, but to help you level up. And step 4, shift your perspective. Before you react, pause. Ask, how might someone else see this? Often, we don't see the world as it is. We see it as we are. High performers don't just work harder. They're strategic, they build range, they evolve. And the common thread, they're deeply self-aware. It's not about having all the answers. It's about asking better questions about yourself. And over time, that awareness becomes an edge. Not just for performance, but for life. If this shifted how you think about how you apply yourself, there's more like it coming. Please subscribe. It helps grow this channel and make more videos. And if you want to dive deeper, check out Limitless, my live cohort program that helps you redefine your limits and break through barriers. It's a 16-week journey into the psychology of performance, helping you identify your edge and design a system around it. The link's in the description if you want to join.